G'day guys, welcome back to another video here with Eno from Fantasy Take TV. Today I'll be going over the round 19 review very quickly. Not a lot to talk about. As you can see, I am on zero trades, if you know that by now from last week. Used my last couple and basically just riding it out till the end of the year. Got just a big cash league pretty much that I'm aiming to win, so that's about all that's left, and whatever happens to my overall rank will be. Obviously hope to push to the top 1k, which we made some strides on this week, but that's all out of my hands now really. So 2600, I mean that was kind of par really, like high 25, probably 26 was par. Of course depends where you are ranked, but just outside the top 1k at 2600 got me up 300 spots, so I'll take that for sure. Could have actually been higher. I've seen some big 2700s as well around the parts, and maybe if Sam Walsh didn't get injured for the second half, he could have piled on an extra 60 or so, but wasn't to be. But mostly had a good week, so we'll quickly go through the team and not talk about a hell of a lot really with me, because there isn't too much else to talk about except we'll talk. I'll do more of the general talk on the podcast, which will be either later tonight or tomorrow. So in regards to my team, obviously Led was out this week, so another out. I'm not alone, of course, but I don't think any of us has fielded a full 22 premiums yet, and it's round 20, so that's been very fun. But Sicily obviously back with the big one was huge for me. Obviously last week was disappointing, so he's really only gone 110 the past 2 weeks on average, but we'll take the 170. Obviously could have VC'd him, wish I did, but didn't in the end. Dare say he'll be around my captaincy this week against St Kilda, because that was the last game he went bonkers as well before his suspension, right? Went 170 as well, right? So really good draw coming up. Thought North would be good, but of course we know what happened there. It's got a bit of attention from Eddie Ford and Zeeble, who's been doing some forward rolls. Zeeble kicked a goal on the weekend too, which was all right. But against Saints, Collingwood maybe not so great, but then D's, Bulldogs I feel are not too bad, and Freo, teams that all sort of struggle with their forward connection and just tend to bomb it along. So unless they man him up and tag him, then I think Sis will go quite well to end the year. Stewart, big game from him. Been playing a bit of midfield actually. I didn't watch the game, but saw he had about 50% CBA, so I think he was cooking early at half back and then went in there in the second half. Could be wrong. You can let me know, but neither here nor there. He played 50% of the game in the midfield, and that might continue. I don't know. I mean, Geelong's midfield got a bit of injuries, struggling in there, so interesting. I mean, I want to actually sit down and watch the game of him doing that and see what it's like. But I guess he went all right in the second half as well. Dawson good, Sinclair good. Naz been pretty good since getting him in, besides one or two poor scores, one due to the rain against the Tigers, and then that West Coast game I didn't see, but they just didn't play well over there, the Saints, but he was pretty good. Took the Bont VC. Track just, for whatever reason, can't have a bad game. It's impossible. He's basically 120 magnetised every week, besides a 95 here and a big one. So hopefully there's a big one coming soon for him. Maybe it's against the Tigers this week, if not North the week after, because that's kind of why we got him. So, hopefully he has a big one soon. Neil battled through. I think he got a bit of attention. Sarong and Brayshaw were good. Steele, huge. So I got him in last week. Funny, I was not bashing him, but really not interested in him during his down periods. And I'm thankful that Melbourne game happened. I did watch that game, and I did get a feeling that he was, at least back to some decent form. And then last week when I used my last 2 trades, I really could only afford him or like an LDU type. And look, LDU probably been better over the last 2 or 3 weeks, but Steele's been just as good. And they're probably both up there for averages over the last 3 weeks. So big 160 from Steele. That is lovely to see. Take that. I guess like George and probably a lot of you out there, always had a soft spot for Steele. Did pick him in his first breakout year when he went 120 plus average, and has just obviously been battling a bit, not just form the team, but obviously injuries this year. But and last year, I did have him when he got injured last year. But love to see him do well. Walsh, as I said, this is a score in one half, so really could have been monster. Would have been nice after I've had him for quite a while. I even had him for this 70 here, so I've copped quite a few of the average scores, the 90s, and obviously that 70. And he's found form really the last 3 weeks or so, and then, was destined to go bang this week, but obviously did a hamstring, and we'll have to see how long he's out. But I imagine for me, it's just Laird on for Walsh this week. Hopefully Laird is back and just have to field Windhager again, who was awesome. Look, I was really kicking myself, and I'm sure a few of you who have Windhager, when Sheldrick was going big and Windy was sort of just plugging along, but he's found a roller half back, and it's really suiting him and obviously suiting his scoring. So he's been great cover for us the last 2 weeks especially. Obviously Shelley was annoying not getting hundreds here and throughout the buys. It would have been really important, but the fact we've needed this cover further on past the buys, and Shelley obviously getting injured unluckily, Windy's been really handy. So obviously happy with him. Rowan was good, sort of went forward late, kicked a goal, maybe even 2, I can't remember, but they just have no targets down there, so he might see a bit more forward time maybe, and we do worry maybe Tom Campbell comes in, but we'll see. Briggs obviously just isn't hitting quite the heights he was, in the first part of his form. We haven't really seen a 110 plus since round, before his buy. So he's still going okay, but yeah, it's just not going to cut it really, or it isn't cutting it when everyone else or most others have an English or a, even someone else at R2. Obviously Shrek's gone down, but Wits maybe some people have, although he hasn't been too good of late. But Briggsy obviously we are stuck with, and I say stuck, but I'm happy to have the man. I think he's good, but he's just not really going to cut it. And he actually gets English this week, and that's a big game in relevance to finals and whatnot. So that should be a good one. Dunks was back, thank God. And then Errol had a really poor one, or just down one, I guess. His form's been up for ages. There's 5 weeks there of really, really good form, mixed in with some other good ones further back. But, 60... one of his poorest scores of the year. Rosie just keeps going. He's had another phenomenal year off the back of last year's first sort of All-Australian. I think he will get one again with Port being right up there. So Rosie's had a good year. Shea wasn't going great, to be honest, and I think he had about a 30-point last maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Really got involved in the game, got in some score chains and whatnot, and some obviously close game scaling at the end of that one. So that helped him jump from maybe a 50-odd to an 86 in like the last 10 minutes. So we'll take it. Obviously, would have liked bigger against, really the last 2 weeks against West Coast and a Hawthorn. After getting him in, obviously, we really hope we hit like a 150 at some point. Might be good for the finals if I make it SuperCoach final against North there. But look, that's what we've got. DC obviously coming back and going 130 straight up is very annoying. I would have copped a donut last week if I didn't trade like a DC or something, because I just had so many outs. So I opted to do that. But maybe if I just sort of had maybe more the league and the SuperCoach finals in my mind, I probably would have held the trades. Probably would have been better. But obviously I still want to keep my overall rank going. That's pretty much 99% of the reason why I do play the game. So even though that cash league is probably my only way of getting anything out of the season, I still want to get points on field. Tim was weirdly good in front of goal, but pretty poor outside of that. His disposal was pretty average. He had a lot of clangers in this game. He often just rushes it forward and kicks it forward, and a lot of the time that's a fine option playing for us. But he just has a very good knack of finding an opposition player. So just a lot of his quick kicks and whatnot were clangers. He had a few frees against. So didn't start too well, but he was still very influential, especially in the forward half and forward 50, kicking some really nice goals and timely ones to help us get over the line. And then Butters was pretty good. He just hasn't, again, been or hit the heights that he did earlier. And obviously, since I got him in, really haven't been able to hit a big one yet. So hopefully that comes soon. Showdown this week, maybe he gets a big one there. And then we got Marriage as cover. So we sort of got Marriage. Windy obviously going to have to cover again, I would say. And then Chincotta covers the back line, who actually, I didn't see the game, but had a really good one. 72. So, hopefully when we do need him or needs to be called upon, he can produce that again. That's it, really. I'll talk captain here, having a quick look myself. You could go Nick Dacos Friday night, big game against the Blues as a VC option. You could even go with Stewart against Freo at GMHBA, loves it there. I think that's the game last year. Yeah, it is. I remember owning him for that Monster 1 was it? Yeah, 187. So, maybe we go that. Maybe we go the 2 intercepting defenders here, and go with Stewart into assists against the Saints. Does sound like a decent option. You got Track against the Tigers if you want to put a C on him. What have we got? The showdown, of course. Maybe his Merit against Sydney, although they might don't put some attention into him. But I don't mind a few of those early options. And then obviously you've got the dogs like Bont and English as well. Bont, I think, always goes pretty well against the Giants. 160 last outing. So, yeah, maybe you want to keep it around him. He's in really good form as well this year. So that's a few of the options. Maybe I'll stick with the defence. They seem to be getting a lot of points these days. And go with that. So that's the team. Not much else to talk about, really. We'll just, hopefully keep scoring some points. And top 1K I'll be happy with. But as long as I do win the league as well. But that's it. Walsh will just have to hold. Hopefully it's only like a 2-3 weeker at max. Just keep Windy down at half back, doing what he does. And then get Walshy back for the last few weeks, hopefully. And then, as I said, no trade. So what option really do I have? None. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the podcast. And actually, I'll quickly, may as well, show my fantasy team something a bit different. We've got 640 rank, and I did stuff up my captain this week. Had it on Errol. Actually, we'll obviously get back to the last round. So trades I did, Shelley injured. So, I had all the really good cover players, and I've got quite a good bench in fantasy. Even got Banksy here who scored a 70, and I think it was 80 in SuperCoach. If I the week I got Sin as just sort of a floater, Banks debuted the week after. If it was the same week, I would have got Banksy for sure, but unfortunately not to be. But he'd be good cover if you got him in SuperCoach as well. I think, Shorty's still a couple of weeks away, he said on radio, so he looked really good off half-back, gave us a bit of dash, especially they're trying to tag Rioli, which I think more teams would probably tend to do. But yeah, went Shelley and Johnson out to Parrish, and Taj Woden just picked a sort of any rookie that I thought. I think he'll play out the year. Whether or not he scores too well is probably unlikely, but they're obviously opting to keep him Grundy out of the side and picking a few more smaller forwards, and he's one of them. But I'm not too fussed. I got Banks there as well. As I said, Angwin's come back, been really good. Windy, I've still got his cover. Chess is there. Happy I traded out Johnson. He's getting subbed a bit, and obviously Shelley's injured. But yeah, so really, full team here. Probably want to upgrade Will Day or just get him up to another premium, like obviously a mid one. I've got 7 defenders and Keys. So whatever order I do, it'll be sort of him and Keys up to, I need Dunkley back, and then just some sort of mid. Merritt's still probably a good one to get. He's still $1 million or something. Might be tough. And then, there's just quite a few. I've got a bit of a different midfield, I guess, from most. Brad Crouch. Steele would have been nice as well, actually. This is what I've got. So I've got Keys and Chesser out. Chesser sort of obviously grabbed the cash. Coulthard was really good as a sub. I'm obviously just random rookie for now. We'll see who gets named. But I think he deserves a full game this week. So we'll see what happens. And that gets Dunks back as well. So my team now with Dunks there looks like this. Still got Will Day, and then he'll be one that I try to upgrade eventually. And I'll probably, loop Windy because, he was really good last week. So might score better than a couple of my premiums. Just depends what line I do that on, whether it's the forward or defence. But that's my team. Hopefully nail the captain this week. Hopefully Laird's back. And try push for a hat, obviously. Top 100 in fantasy, that is. You get the old hat. But Doc was a good to get a couple of weeks ago. I got Bont over Merritt like maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. And, Bont's still been good, don't get me wrong. But, Merritt has had some of those big games. But need both, really, and I don't. So Merritt's probably still a target for me. He did have that poor one. He's actually had 2 poor weeks. I didn't realize he went only 88 in the weekend as well. Okay, so maybe wait for him to come down a little. But then they do have that fixture, getting Parrish in, and where we go, fixture. Sydney this week, then it's, West Coast North, Giants. Giants actually are pretty tough, but I'll probably have to get Merritt for sure, and he'll be pretty cheap, so I'll just need, another 200-ish sort of K from Will Day up to Merritt, and I don't really want to use Windy, because he'll be great cover. Maybe Angwin can get up a bit more. I've only got 10k in the bank now, so we might have to just part ways with Windy, but I'll make that decision next week. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Got the mojo deals, we been tripping like pulling out the coupe at the lot.